Let's go. What's going on, Knicks Nation? Appreciate you joining me for another Knicks Nation post-game show. Another Knicks Nation post-game show as the New York Knicks beat the Philadelphia 76ers 125-119. Exhilarating win, got dicey in the end, but all in all, this Knicks team pulled through and got it done. Bunch of performances that we'll go through tonight. Once again, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Overtime game down in Philly. Man, oh man, we needed this one, right? We needed this one from the get. Look, no Cat. Jericho Sims coming in. And look, Jericho Sims, guys, in the minutes that he played was solid. Offensive rebounding machine. He was even locking up Tyrese Maxey. Fourth quarter, though, got dicey. Right? We'll talk about it all. But the Knicks needed this win. And you're looking at when the Sixers tied this game, when Maxey goes up for the layup in the fourth quarter, Precious gets it off the rim, goaltending, right? You're sitting there like, no, this is not happening. This cannot happen. That sequence alone, JB on the other end, thought he got bumped, no call, and you call a foul on Maxey in the fourth quarter. Just a lot of ticky-tack stuff that didn't go our way in that fourth. And look, we didn't play a good fourth quarter. We didn't at all. And in crunch time, when it mattered the most, they kind of let go of the rope a little bit, and Anunoby misses the game-winning shot. But in overtime, this Knicks team started off on an 8-0 run, and just were locked in from start to finish. And Anunoby opened it up with a good dunk. Started off on an 8-0 run, and that's all she wrote after that. So all around, just an amazing effort from the squad. Josh Hart, another triple-double. Brunson, 38 and 4. We'll go through the highlights. Mikal with a nice highlight at the end. So many things to talk about. Deuce McBride, I thought, played extremely well. This is the best I've seen Deuce McBride play since the Celtic game, right? Game 1. Deuce McBride was rolling. Deuce McBride was incredible tonight. And, in that third quarter, we'll go through it all. I thought it was a poorly coached third quarter from Tom Thibodeau. He didn't put Deuce in until late in the third quarter, but Deuce McBride was incredible tonight for this Knicks team off the bench. Precious Achiuwa in overtime was incredible with the acrobatic layup that he hit, which was absolutely remarkable. And, just you needed this one. They got it done, and let's go through it. Daniel in the chat, what's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you hopping in here. What's going on? Big Taz, salute. A win is a win, I guess. Tis Rover says ugly ass win. El Figgy says another heart attacker by the New York Knicks. Man, oh man. Eddie, what's going on? Loud and Clear says, I know a win is a win, but I feel like this win needed to be more convincing. Sixers put up 38 points in the third and then tied it in the fourth. Thibs killing us with the adjustments. Loud and Clear, we'll talk about it all. Appreciate you in here. Jimbo says, needed that from Deuce. Yuri says, maybe this is a spark. Jimbo, well said, man. You needed that from Deuce McBride because, look, he looked amazing tonight, guys. Defensively, offensively. I go back to the play, I think the fourth quarter, where, Paul George is running down the court. You got Deuce McBride sprinting right behind him, stealing the ball, poking the ball out of his hands. And McBride looked good, man. McBride looked good tonight. If you're and that's the McBride that we want to see on a consistent basis. And he's been dealing with injuries, so that's kind of hampered him. But Deuce McBride was incredible tonight. Absolutely incredible. Great game from Deuce. And I honestly don't want to overlook. Look, we'll talk about everyone, right? We'll talk about everyone. Let me move this chat. So JB 38, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. 3 of 6 from 3. Assassin. Especially in that fourth. Assassin, man. He really, when you needed him the most, he really hit some timely shots tonight from JB. He was, incredible. And I've gone now, how many minutes? Okay, I've gone 5 minutes, 6 minutes in this post game. And I have yet to mention Mr. Josh Hart. Josh Hart, guys, just continues to amaze me. His play on the court is remarkable. 17 boards for a 6'4" guard. 12 assists, 10 points, another triple-double. That is his 11th career triple-double. I think that's his 5th this season as a New York Knick. Josh Hart with one of those games where you remember, and some of the rebounds he was grabbing. Yeah, you're watching a game and you don't know how this man is doing it. You're watching the game, you don't know how this man keeps on doing it. 17 rebounds for Josh Hart. 17. 5 offensive. And he's assisting. And you don't even need him to score, but when he's open, he's going to score. Josh Hart is the guy that literally makes everything run in the starting lineup. And I know we've been like going back and forth about what do you do when Mitch comes back, but Josh Hart is having a career season, and tonight I thought was incredible. I mean, there was a play, especially the icing on the cake where Josh Hart stole the ball, alley-hoop to Mikal Bridges, and obviously you see Mikal Bridges with this picture that let me just post in the chat really quick. Came out with a funny picture from Mikal Bridges. Icing on the cake. Icing on the cake, man. The guys are having fun again. We are having fun. And I know we'll talk about it. Fourth quarter, third quarter of doom. I see it in the chat. But wins are hard in this league, guys. Wins are hard in this league. And look, this Knicks team came into overtime with a mission to win this game. Did they let go of the rope in the fourth? Yeah. Did Tom Thibodeau coach a poorly third quarter? Yeah. Not playing Deuce McBride until the final minute in the third quarter when Deuce McBride had one of his best halves of the season. Not going to him until I think there was like 1 minute left in the third quarter. Sitting to myself like, well, what's going on? No campaign in the second half, and just a poorly coached third quarter, fourth quarter, bad decisions in that fourth quarter, right? Just bad decisions. But the bad decisions, there was also some clutch plays. Josh Hart got the loose ball off a jump ball. OG Anunoby, I know he missed the game-winning shot in regulation, but OG Anunoby I thought looked good tonight. 3 of 10 from 3, was running around Paul George. So you needed this one, you got this one. It looked ugly, but in the end, ultimately you persevered and you pulled through, and you got back on track, which is what matters. And to go on top of that, you had a bunch of great performances from everybody. Bunch of great performances. Jimbo says, Mikal, good game. Love to see that. Jimbo, yeah, Mikal Bridges, man. Back-to-back games where Mikal Bridges has looked great, by the way. And the thing about Mikal in the second half, the Knicks kind of went away from him in that second half. But overtime, he looked good. And defensively, you're seeing the upside of having Mikal Bridges on the basketball court. Mikal looks good. Mikal, in these last couple of games, Mikal looks good. Talented Nate. Hey, man, I'm happy with this win, but I still believe we need to make a move or two. Need some more offense off the bench. Can't forget that we lose games at the end because our guys are tired, need one. Talented Nate, appreciate you in the chat. Well said, Talented Nate. Well said. With the way Cat's finger was wrapped up tonight, he might be missing a couple of games. Jaden, yeah, Cat. The news on Karl-Anthony Towns is that he has what is a ligament? Something else is going on with his finger. I forgot what they said regarding Karl-Anthony Towns. Let me just pull it up really quick. All right. Karl-Anthony Towns has a bone chip in his addition to his sprain. Then they say surgery isn't necessary, and the plan is for Towns to play with the bone chip. So just had to hope for the best regarding that. But, yeah, Towns was on the bench, seeing in an Eagles jersey, and then I kind of got him on X, like Eagles jersey on the Knicks bench, and then he actually changed into a Knicks shirt in the second half, which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, Monique, what's going on? Said good win. Good win. Figgy says OG still looks off. OG almost offensively garbage at the moment, I'm sorry to say. Dis Rover, what's going on? Dis Rover, look. OG's going through something right now, right? But 3 of 10 from 3. Timely. Open up the overtime. He had a time, great 3 to open up the overtime. 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 17 points. Got the game-winning shot in regulation, just, couldn't fall. But I thought as tonight the game progressed, OG got better. I did. He was missing some open shots. And look, he's dealing with something with his elbow. And to me, that's clearly bothering him, and that's affecting his shots. But I thought as the game went along, OG Anunoby got better. And there was a possession where he was following Paul George around, denied Paul George the ball. And the Knicks ultimately ended that possession with a Precious Achiuwa block at the rim. So defensively, OG Anunoby is still elite. He's still great on that front. But offensively, he's, in a funk right now. And I'm not really concerned by it. But, yeah, I understand that at times it kind of looks like funky at times. But, look. No Cat, right? So Jericho Sims started this game. And coming into this game, you're like, look, I want to see Hukporti. I want to see Hukporti. Sims, after missing a game with back spasms, comes in tonight, starts the game. And, guys, Jericho Sims looked great. He looked great. He looked great tonight. There was a couple of times where he was on an island guarding Tyrese Maxey. He stood his ground. Got into foul trouble early. But when he was put on an island with Tyrese Maxey, he stood his ground and locked in and played great defense. Great contests in the first quarter. And you love to see the offensive rebounding from Jericho Sims. 6 offensive boards from Jericho. A lot of tip outs. Jericho looked good, man. Jericho looked great tonight, guys. I know he played only 23 minutes. You ended with Precious in the 4th, heading into overtime. But Sims, for a guy who's been in trade rumors and for a guy who's, kind of on the trade block, I thought if there were teams watching tonight, he definitely got his trade value up. Because that's what this Knicks team sees in Sims. And look, shout out to Dez for going to him, right? He trusted him. He started him. And Sims looked good. Sims looked great. And to me, I was like, wow, okay, Jericho. Shout out to the player, man. That's tough, man. Riding the bench for weeks, back spasm, then coming in, starting, and then looking like that. Fresh legs. He looked good, man. So shout out to Jericho, man. Shout out to Jericho. Shout out to Jericho. Sims got his trade value way up in this game. This Rover says he looked great because his job's being threatened again. That's funny how Jericho, every time his job gets threatened, every time Knicks fans are calling for Ariel Hukporti, Jericho Sims comes out and looks damn good. And look, hey, he works well under pressure, right? And you love that from him. But like I said, for him to only, You thought Hukporti leapfrog. That's been the story, right? Hukporti leapfrogging him in the depth chart. I've even said it. I thought so. But Thibs started with Sims. And I don't know if you guys remember, early on in the season, Jericho Sims was in the Knicks' best defensive lineup. He was a part of that. And tonight, you saw in spurts with him guarding Tyrese Maxey, Knicks, they didn't help. They know Sims is quick on his feet and can guard those quick guards. And tonight, he looked great. He looked great. So shout out to Jericho tonight in those 23 minutes. I thought he looked good. Knicks 100 GM, didn't Precious get everybody free? Chicken. He did. Look, Knicks free throws tonight were 17 of 24, and they've been cleaning that up lately. But just this game was gritty, a lot of emotions. Third quarter bad, fourth quarter you're like sitting there like, what's going on? But this Knicks team was winning on margins, right? They're winning on margins. They were killing the Philadelphia 76ers all game long with offensive rebounds. 15 offensive rebounds as a team from this New York Knicks team tonight. Second chance points up the wahoo. Jericho 6, Brunson 1, Hart 5, Precious 2, McBride 1. Killing the 76ers with second chance points. And you're sitting there watching it and you're kind of being reminded like, okay, this looks like a little bit of last year's Knicks, right? Knicks love playing in Philly. And they were just hurting Philadelphia in the offensive rebounds, and they won off margins. And that's ultimately how you demoralize teams, and that's what this Knicks team did tonight. And Philly just didn't have an answer. But in that fourth quarter, bad possessions. Maxey, look, 13 of 32 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3. But in that fourth quarter, he hit timely shots. In that fourth quarter. And you're sitting to yourself looking at the TV like, this is not happening. Like, this is not happening, right? And then, tie game, Anunoby misses the jump shot. Brunson, I thought, shouldn't have been at the line for an and one. Next possession, they give Maxey a foul call. He's at the line. And, yeah. I thought in that final minute, too, I thought Thibs could have went with Sims and swapped Sims out with Precious to get some more rim protection. And that's why you saw Maxey go full head of steam at the rim and he was able to convert. So, look, Knicks almost choked this one, right? And, in another universe, you would have pointed at the subs. Third quarter, I thought Thibs dropped the ball a little bit. Substitution patterns have been off for Thibs. They have been. They've been off. Brunson entire second half and overtime. Hart 49 minutes tonight. Bridges 43 and Obi 45. Not trying to be the minute police, but I thought the substitutions in that third, that's what led to that bad fourth, is what I'm trying to say. So, thank goodness in overtime, we cleaned it up. And Obi started off right with a 3 in the corner. And then Josh Hart just with an incredible game. I feel like every game Josh Hart has a triple-double. I'm like, this is the best game I've seen from Josh Hart. And I've said it earlier. Josh Hart is quickly becoming one of my favorite Knicks of all time, simply due to the fact that the way he plays. He plays on 100 every single possession, grabbing offensive rebound, pushing the pace, hitting his threes, passing to the open man, leading the offense, defending at a high rate. He had Paul George and a couple of possessions on lock tonight. This man is the jack of all trades, and Josh Hart is just continuing a great season. 11 freaking triple doubles for Josh Hart. 11 career triple doubles for Josh Hart tonight. Incredible. Sims always looks good if you know what you're looking for. Nice looking guy. El Figure says I still wanted to see Cam more tonight. El Figure, yeah, Cam, I thought came in. He had 2 threes in 7 minutes. Cam Payne hit 2 threes in 7 minutes in the first half. Did not play the second half. Did not play in overtime. McBride, one of the best halves you've seen from Miles McBride in a while. And, he closed the game in overtime, and he was impactful. He closed the game in the fourth quarter, too. Impactful stuff, right? Impactful stuff from Miles McBride. But, yeah, Cam has, hit a 180 here. He's been playing well. 3 straight games where he's been feeling it from 3. And those threes give this Knicks team boosts when he comes in off the bench, providing that instant spark, providing that energy. That stuff matters. That stuff matters. Mike Saunders, what's going on, Mike? Achua had the second highest plus minus in the game. Achua plus 9, Josh Hart plus 10, plus minus 10. Precious looked good tonight, man. He looked good. 3 blocks, a presence at the rim, and he hit acrobatic layup, which was a big layup, by the way, at that moment. Because I think Philly scored the last couple of possessions, and Precious came back and hit a acrobatic layup, and you're sitting to yourself like, okay, Precious. But impactful minutes from Precious, 10 points, 6 boards. You love to see the 3 blocks. But you willed your way to a win, man. You got it done. You got it done. The Castro, what's going on? An ugly fourth quarter, but got the W in overtime. Sometimes still need change defensive-wise. What's going on, Castro? Appreciate you in here. Jaden says, today was a perfect game for Cam to play. He's an energy guy and seems to play great against prior teams. Wish he got some more minutes, especially when he looks like he was having a good night, too. Yeah, Payne looked good in the minutes he played, but, again, third quarter, Thibodeau kind of went away from his patterns in the first half. And that's what I've been saying. The trends are Thibs goes to his subs in the first half. Second half, he kind of gets antsy, kind of gets nervous. Philly got back in the game, and he kept them in there. He kept the starters in there. But, all ESPN, I don't know what you guys were seeing. All ESPN was showing was the minute graphic, and I'll put it up here in a second. But tonight was one of those wins where you pulled through in the end and you got it done, man. You needed a bounce back. It could have got ugly in the fourth. It could have got ugly, but this Knicks team persevered and got it done in overtime. Coming off a bad loss in Detroit, they've been floundering, right? They've been floundering, and you're sitting yourself in that fourth quarter. You couldn't believe what was happening. But overtime hit, and Philly made mistakes, and the Knicks capitalized on it. So, yeah. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. This is a much-needed win for this Knicks team, man. Got to break the curse of the third quarter from El Figgy. Yeah, guys, that's now, man, the third quarter of doom, man. 25-38 in the third quarter. Philly scored 38 points in that third quarter. And I honestly don't understand why Thibs deviates from his subs, right? Could have got Deuce in there earlier in that third quarter. You could have played Payne, who was playing well in the first half. You could have played him in there. Mixing and matching. But Thibs decided not to. And I thought that factored into that bad third quarter. I do. Because Deuce McBride had a great first half. You want to see him more. Especially want to see him come in around like the 6 or 7 minute mark in that third quarter. But you got to get it together in the third, man. And even in crunch time, you almost lost it. You almost let go of the rope in crunch time. But yeah, the third quarter of dooms are back, guys. And I don't like it. I don't. But this Knicks team in the first half, honestly, from first quarter, second quarter, you go into halftime, you're like, all right, Philly really wasn't playing well. Like, credit to them. They bounced back in the second half, and when it mattered the most, they made timely shots, and Maxey hit some timely shots. But really, all game long, I felt there was a sense of confidence you felt, right? In this game. There was a sense of confidence throughout the game where you're like, okay, Knicks look like they're on a mission. They look like they're on a mission. They look good. Sims looks good. Brunson was doing his thing. Bridges opened up this game. on fire again. And you're like, okay, one of these guys like playing in Philly. This is looking good. And then third quarter comes around and fourth quarter comes around and, all of that changes. But it's the NBA, right? It's the NBA. You're not going to beat everyone, hand over fist, right? Yeah, it's going to take. I like wins like this, honestly. I do. Builds character. I like wins like this. It puts more tape on. It puts more film. Gives them more to look at in the film room. Gives them more to look at in the film room because film sessions are great after wins and you can learn off of it. But no Cat. I know they had no Embiid, but still, Philly, tough place to play, tough team. Smash the subscribe button. Smash the like button, guys. How many 19 likes, 44 people in here. Appreciate every single one of you in here. Knicks get a much-needed win, 125-119 over the Philadelphia 76ers. The New York Knicks are now 12 games over 500. They are 12 games over 500. The New York Knicks are 27-15 on the season. They are 14-8 away from MSG. This Knicks team loves playing on the road. 14-8. That's a good road record. That's a good road record for this team. And they go back home now. But tonight, I thought was a good step in the right direction. Of course, I sound like a broken record after the Bucks game. I thought it was a good step in the right direction. But I saw better habits tonight, better trends. Mikal has it again. He has his shot back. Sims looked good. Brunson looked good. Clutch shots from JB, especially in that final minute in the fourth quarter. I know they tied the game. Hart looks incredible. And you're seeing Deuce McBride. This was a big game for Deuce. Deuce McBride needed a game like this. He did. Depending on who you ask, me personally, I thought we could get more from Deuce during the season. I know he's dealing with injuries and whatnot, but if Deuce that's the version of Deuce McBride tonight that I know we can get on a consistent basis. Because if McBride plays like that, it just makes the bench it just stabilizes things off the bench. And I know Shamit's not in the rotation, depends on the game. But when McBride's playing like that, man, especially defensively, and when he's hitting his threes, and when you hear the Deuce chants in Philly, love it. Wild Boy Trey, what's going on, Wild Boy Trey? Hope all is well. Bridges was back home. The Noble Boys were back home, man. Noble Boys was back home. Mike says, although Sims is a really good rim protector, it would be cool to see him guard the perimeter more. That is the lore of Jericho Sims, right? That's why this Knicks front office and Tom Thibodeau goes back to him. Because when you look at him, he's a physical specimen. He's strong. He's big. He can guard 1 through 4, 1 through 5, 2 to 5. But he's a good, okay rim protector. I think he needs to set his feet when he sets picks. He needs to set his feet when he sets pick and rolls. I think that he could work on that. But it's all in the mind with Jericho, right? And somebody said it earlier when his playing time is up for grabs, when Hukporti's chomping at the bit, you get the best version of Jericho, right? And look, for him to come in tonight and play like that was shout out to the young man. Honestly, shout out to Jericho Sims, because I thought those 6 offensive rebounds that he got, he looked good, man. He was a presence down there. He looked good, man. And this Knicks team was missing that. Those boards, him along with Hart, combined for 11 offensive rebounds. So, shout out to Jericho, man. We were the best third quarter team in the league until about 2 weeks ago. It's funny how that works, Mike. It's funny how that works. Yuri says, will Cat be available from Minnesota? Yuri, day to day. That's what they're calling Karl Anthony Towns. So we shall see. Mini getting scraped right now. Uh-oh. And talk about Minnesota, but guys, much needed. You had to get this one. Let's go to the team stats in this one. So this is what I love to see, man. 45 rebounds, 15 offensive rebounds, 30 defensive rebounds. And if you're a Philadelphia 76er fan, brings you flashback to the second round of last year, right? Where this Knicks team was demoralizing them. They're winning in areas where they're taking advantage of areas where they know they can win. And 15 boards, I know Philly got 11, but 15 boards is huge, man. 45 boards, that's huge, man. That's important, man. And, you got your threes back, man. 43% from three. Looks great when the shot's going in, man. That's where this Knicks team wants to be at. 43% from three. Obviously, their season average is 38%, so that's not going to stay at 43% for the entirety of the season. But, hitting their open shots. Free throws, they've been hitting them, but 17 to 24 tonight. You want to clean that up a little bit. 28 assists, 10 steals, 16 turnovers. Oh, the turnover battle was high. Turnover battle was high for this team. 18 fast break points. That's another thing tonight. You saw the Knicks team run. You saw this Knicks team play fast. Led by Josh Hart, led by Mikal, Deuce. Even Brunson was getting out there and running. And this Knicks team is fun when they run. They are. They're fun when they pick up the pace. Game comes easier when they pick up the pace. And only 14 fouls tonight for this team, but you got it done, man. You got it done. Josh Hart, man. Is it just me, or is Josh Hart becoming one of your favorite Knicks to watch? Seriously, man. He puts up 2K numbers, and he does it on a game by game basis, consistently. Wild Boy Trey says Josh Hart with the usual triple-double. 11th triple-double. 11th career triple-double from Josh Hart, Wild Boy Trey. He's incredible, man. And look, I know I'm coming on here. I keep saying he's incredible. But honestly, he is exactly what this Knicks team needed when they traded for him. And even in the playoffs, the 17 rebounds and 12 assists, that's what wins you games in the playoffs. Those are playoff numbers, man. 4 steals, too, for Josh Hart. Those are statistics where it demoralizes the opponent, and the 5 offensive rebounds to go along with that, the way he tracks the ball, just incredible. And that's why he's performed in the playoffs, and, he's been incredible, man. Mr. Hart giving 100% as per usual. Feel like buying another Josh Hart jersey. Jaden says Thibs needs to do a better job in using players as a threat on the offensive side rather than using them and extras on the court, especially late game. Jaden. And then Jaden says it's game like this that shows you Mikal needs to get more plays on offense. He can get open. He can open up a lot of things for us, especially when things get shaky. Jaden, I agree. Thibs needs to do a better job realizing that. Thibs needs to do a better job realizing that he needs to fix his substitution patterns. But I've been talking about it after certain games where I know Mikal had 19 field goal attempts tonight, but on a certain game, Mikal was rolling tonight. Rolling. And then there was a brief period where kind of went away from him. He kind of went cold. He was missing shots too. But there was a brief period where Mikal was, he's playing good defense, but the offense, he was iced out. That's what you're talking about. And Thibs needs to do a better job, calling ISOs for Mikal. There was isolation that Mikal had on, what's his name? I think it was Yabusele. Mikal cooked him on an isolation play tonight. Cooked him. And look, Paul George, 9 of 20, 3 of 8 from 3, held him in check, 26 points. Maxey, inefficient night, 2 of 9 from 3, held him in check, Shout out to Mikal. Shout out to OG Anunoby. Shout out to Josh Hart on that front. Eric Gordon actually gave them a boost, 3 of 5 from 3. I was shocked. And another Justin Edwards came in and gave them some big shots. And especially in that fourth quarter where you're like, damn, especially Downton Jr. He's been a fan favorite in Philadelphia too. You know, these guys with fresher legs were giving the Knicks issues in the fourth quarter, right? So something to look at, something to watch. But did you guys see Grilled Mouse? What's going on, Grilled Mouse Scott? Haven't seen you in here. Subscribe. Says, yo, what's wrong with OG? OG is going through a slump. I saw a lot of things on Twitter, especially early on in the game, where the comments that Josh Hart made about the egos, about the individual accolades, a lot of people are suggesting that those comments were aimed at OG Anunoby. And it's, you know, I think he's dealing with something. I think he's look, Anunoby is pushing through right now. And I am just happy that Anunoby is on the court. Because you need him, one, to last into the playoffs, because you need him in the playoffs. But me personally, I'm just happy that this man is healthy and this man is on the court. Now, if you want to question his health with the elbow, but we saw his impact in the playoffs last year. And when he was out, we missed him dearly. If he was on our team, we would have beat the Indiana Pacers. So I'm just happy Anunoby is out there. He's competing. But his shot is going through a funk, and it happens, man. It's the NBA. It's a long season. It's a long season. And the way this Knicks team is structured is, you know, any guy can beat you in the starting five, really. I know Cat was out tonight. Brunson and Mikal were having it. But Anunoby tonight, I thought, as I said, as the game progressed, he looked better. He looked better. Hit a 3 in the overtime to start the overtime. Corner 3. Nice dunk, too. Start the overtime, I think. So as the game progressed, he looked better. And you just want OG Anunoby to be on the court. And another thing to that argument is, you know, you look at OG Anunoby's minutes, and let me bring up what I saw from. So this was this was on ESPN. I screenshotted it. They said no team since 1951, 1952 has had 4 players in the top 10 in total minutes played in a single season. And this Knicks team has 4 players in the top 10 in total minutes played in a single season. So if that continues, the Knicks will be the first team since 1951 and 52 to do that. So tonight didn't help. Tonight didn't help. 43 for Mikal, 45 for OG, 45 for Jalen, 49 for Josh Hart. The guys didn't sit. Guys didn't sit in this in the second half, especially going into overtime. Guys didn't sit, but they won, man. They won the game. They persevered, and they got it done. Yuri's in Discord. If you guys want to call in, join the Discord. It's in the link. It's in the description below. Anyone can call in. Or if you guys want to become a member, you can hop on the live stream with me as well. We could chop it up. Let me get Yuri in here. I know Yuri's been waiting. Give me a second. Yuri, give me 1 second, Yuri. Trying to get this to work. All right, Yuri, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Let me turn off my TV real quick so you can hear me.
What you got?
So, I'm going to say one thing, and I'm going to have a hot take right now. Next chat might get mad at me, but I'm going to not care anyway. If the players have no problem playing high minutes, just like in the stat, then there's no problem. The players love Tibbs. Tibbs loves the players. I get wanting to play other players. I understand that, especially when it comes to the time when playoff time when we need to be healthy.
That's been coming out lately that the player look. If you're a Knicks player, players want to play, Yuri. Right? Players want to play. Players are always going to want to play. These guys get paid millions of dollars to play. But the problem that a lot of Knicks fans have is this Knicks team plays these guys so many minutes that when the playoffs come, they're burnt out. And we're dealing with injuries, so on and so forth. Obviously, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But what do you have to say to that?
What I have to say to that is, I think it's the opposite. I think when playoff time comes, when we get there, they're going to actually play a lot better in the playoffs due to the amount of minutes they've been playing. I think it has the opposite effect, personally, in my opinion.
Valid point. Very valid point. But okay, so you think it has the opposite effect. And look, tonight you needed to win, right, Yuri? I mean, this was a game where Tom Thibodeau looked at.
This was a must-win game.
This was a game where Tom Thibodeau looked at it and was like, "Look, I'm not. There's no way in hell I'm losing this game, right?" And you look at Brunson at that point. I know he's played the entire second half, especially overtime. Yeah, he's not gonna even want to come out the game. Hart didn't want to come out the game. So on that front, I get it.
Maybe he didn't want to come out the game. Public health didn't want to come
Yeah,
out the game.
the guys didn't want to come out the game. But in that third quarter, where the Knicks kind of let go of the rope, going into the fourth quarter, I thought Thibs could have done a better job in terms of getting McBride in there sooner, and even Payne for maybe even 3 more minutes. But it is what it is. I mean, Cat is now dealing with this thumb injury, but it is what it is. We got guys that look. Jericho Sims stepped the hell up tonight.
I'll
Stepped the hell up.
Jericho Sims did step up. 100%. I will definitely agree to that, especially when you heard that he was the trade rumors. 100% he stepped up. Game ball wise, Josh Hart. I'm giving the game ball to Josh Hart. If the majority of plays weren't made by Josh Hart, Knicks would have lost this game.
He's incredible, man.
I gotta get a Hart jersey, man. I have to. I was thinking who I want to get a jersey from. I'm like, nah, I need a Hart jersey. And going off by the standings in the roster, you're what? You're third in the East. You're 27-15. You're what? 2 games back from the Celtics. I mean, you could be in the best position as possible, and you pushed Orlando Magic back to 6 games.
Yep.
And you know who I feel threatened right now? To tell you the truth, in his standing? You want me to be honest with you? If we're third in the East, I know we have the play-in team, right? Do we even face someone in the play-in team?
If you're third in the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks right now would play
Indiana.
I think we play Indiana. Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I feel threatened by Detroit. Ironic as that sounds, for good reasons, because they beat us twice now. They've had our number.
Yeah. Yeah. Yuri, appreciate you calling, man.
100%, you too.
Always. Thank you again. That was Yuri in the Discord. Thumbs up for Yuri in the chat. If you guys want to call in, always hop in the Discord. Call in. Shout out to Yuri. Yuri says he feels threatened by the Detroit Pistons. Huh. That's interesting. Bro Don says game ball to Josh Hart. Yeah. Game ball to Josh Hart for sure. I don't feel threatened by Detroit. They're a tough team. But right now, look, Knicks are third in the Eastern Conference. I said it earlier. If you were to ask anybody, a Knicks fan, before the season, you'll be third in the Eastern Conference. Now you're 12 games over 500. You're 2 games behind Boston. You're 8.5 behind Cleveland, but they're just a machine. 80% of Knicks fans would sign up for that, right? 80% of Knicks fans would sign up for that. And they're in a good spot, man. I think they got the fifth best record in the league, if I'm not mistaken. They're 27-12, 27-15. So they've played a ton of games. I think they played the most games in the NBA. So, despite the bad losses, 5-5 in our last 10, you got this one, which you needed a lot. It could be worse, man. You could be Philly. You could be Philly, who stinks, right? Who's underperforming, dealing with a bunch of injuries. Indiana's starting to play well. Magic have kind of hit a wall here with Paolo back. It could be much worse. Life could be worse, man. We're in a good spot, honestly. And I know we judge these games. I come on here after every post game, and especially the Detroit game sucked, but you kind of want to zoom out. And tonight was a big win, and you look at the standings right now, and you're in a great spot. You're in a great spot, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong for saying that? You're third in the East. Grill says Detroit. Come back to reality. Don says if we play Detroit and we get back Mitch, it will be different, much different game. We gaining up on Boston and Cleveland. Jaden says Orlando, Pacers, and Hawks are our main concerns first round. Dear God, I just found out the Raptors beat the Boston Celtics. You see? That's the NBA, guys. I didn't even know Raptors beat the Boston Celtics tonight. Look at that. Raptors beat Boston. That's the NBA. You can get gout on any night. Boston has, I know a lot of people are saying they're bored and they're just kicking the can down the road to the playoffs, but okay. If you could leapfrog them and get to that second seed, sign me up for that, right? And you're only 2 games from that. I know, you've only played them once, so the tiebreaker stuff is still in question. But this New York Knicks team right now is in a good spot. They are. Yeah, we good. I keep forgetting we developing. That's the thing too. We're developing, gaining chemistry. The cat is, right now we just have to hope that the Karl Anthony Towns, the thumb injury, we hope that doesn't really linger. The bone chip in his thumb, addition to the sprain. I know he's going to want to play against Minnesota, but you just hope that doesn't linger throughout the whole season. He's the best big man shooting. He's shooting 45% from 3, guys. 45% from 3, Karl Anthony Towns. So you just hope that he's healthy. Jaden says, I think we're in a good spot, but we could have been way better, which shows how much potential we have. I like that comment, Jaden. I do. Count on the schedule. If you go down the schedule, we could have, you could have, but you're not. You're still 12 games over 500. And that, look, the NBA is tough, man. Anyone can get beat on any given night. And that 9-game winning streak was so huge for this team. And they've been going through it. But hopefully tonight is a step in the right direction. Because now you head back home and it doesn't get easier, right? You got Minnesota, Atlanta. And again, Atlanta is one of those teams where I'm looking at and I'm like, what are you going to do? Trae Young rolling the dice on your logo last time he was in MSG? Show me something. New York, show me something, please. Run him out the building. I know the Randall, Dante coming back to MSG, that's going to be emotional and whatnot, but we've beaten them once before. Obviously, if Cat's not playing, it's a different story, but show me something. That's the NBA. Mike says, yeah, but Boston are the champs. They are, man. That's the cream of the top. Cavs are ahead of us by 8 games. Yeah, it's incredible. 8.5 games, man. 34-5, the Cleveland Cavaliers. So you could pretty much chalk them to have the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And then in the playoffs, it's where things slow down, pressure gets high. That's where people want to see Cleveland in the playoffs. That's where people want to see Cleveland. Knicks getting Cat resting, and his thumb will be all right. Tony says, going to overtime with a bad Sixers team without Embiid, shaking my head. And again, this 8-man rotation, how much longer can we only depend on 3 guys off the bench? Tony, what's going on? Tony, man, a win's a win, man. I get it, man. I truly do. But, the more I talk about it, it's like, look, Dibs is going to play who he trusts. They're developing in the G League. Sims played great tonight. Played great. And his rotation patterns have to improve. They do. Tom Thibodeau I'm speaking about. But, it's something that just we've been dealing with as Knicks fans, right? So, but after a win, all is good. You still point to these things, but all is good after a win. We could have easily been a top 2 in the standings if we won the games we were supposed to, but that's basketball. That's basketball, Jaden. Realistically, the East is garbage besides 3 teams that are in the top 3. Look at the East teams' rosters from the 4 seed down. Nowhere near the talent we have. The Cavs are playing so well, mostly because of Garland's game has finally come to fully form compared to last year. Garland and Mobley, right? They've been playing well, but yeah, guys. I mean, in the East, the Knicks have the Bucks number. Pacers are starting to find their footing. Magic are, always a tough out. Prison ball, that's what they play. So, it's always going to be tough, right? It's always going to be a battle, no matter who this Knicks team plays. No matter who. The Miami's still knocking at the door for the 6th seed. Detroit's knocking at the door. I mean, you go through 6 through 9, they're separated by a half a game. Kind of reminds me of the West. Hawks, Pistons, Miami. They're all a half game behind the 6th seed, so still super early. Trading deadline is less than a month, guys. Hey, now. And then you got the Philadelphia 76ers outside of the play-in. Would you look at that? Would you look at that, man? But, yeah, schedule. Let's take a look at this schedule. All right, so all of these green wins, perfect. Then you went on a little funk, right? Hey, you've won 2 out of your last 3 games, if you want to look at it like that, Hey, now, 2 out of your last 3 games. I'll take that. Big win versus Milwaukee. Big one in Philly. Detroit was a tough one, right? But now you got Minnesota, Atlanta, at Brooklyn, Sacramento, Memphis, Denver, LA. The next 2 games, Knicks fans are looking at that, right? Minnesota and Atlanta. So before this stretch, when the OKC game started, I said, look, 3-3, 4-2, sign me up. I'm okay with that. Now, if you go 3-3, you only got to win 1 out of your next 2 games, but I want both of them. 4-2, sign me up. I'll take that. 4-2 against OKC, Milwaukee, Detroit, Philly, Minnesota, Atlanta. I'll take that, man. I know the losses look bad, but I'll take that. And then you got Brooklyn, Mikal Bridges going back to Brooklyn. That should be fun. Sacramento's been playing well. They've been playing better. Memphis, they've been playing well in the West. Denver, they're going to want some revenge. LeBron coming into MSG. Houston, man, this schedule, guys. Oof. That's a schedule. Toronto, who just beat Boston. Boston, Indiana, Atlanta. Hey, you want to show us what you built? You want to show us what you're made of? Cleveland, Boston. This schedule's tough, guys. This schedule's tough, man. But one game at a time, man. But Minnesota, Atlanta. Go 2-0, please. Go 2-0. Wild Boy Trey says this version of Deuce McBride makes the Knicks a scary team. Wild Boy, yes, man. Deuce McBride, we've been talking about him. This version of Deuce played an incredible game tonight defensively and offensively, hitting his threes. Just incredible. This version of Deuce, if he's going to play like that, it kind of like eases your mind off that Knicks bench, because we came into the season. Look, first game versus Boston, Deuce looked great. And he was like, okay, this man's going to have a he's going to win the 6-man of the year. Deuce is going to mess around and win the 6-man of the year. Then injuries happened. But tonight, great game from Deuce, man. Great game from Deuce. Mike says, why does teams like OKC, Houston, and Magic play with so much intensity on the defensive end, but we play lackadaisical? At times we do, right? But there were moments tonight where you saw flashbacks of last year, which I loved. Possessions tonight where this Knicks team was dominant defensively. Obviously, they'll come back in the fourth for Philly. You don't like that. But tonight with the offensive rebounding, you saw the old Knicks. You kind of saw that a little bit. And the thing about those teams is they play playoff basketball in the season. They play physical. They really play physical with teams. Mikal, that's not Mikal. Like defensively, I really want Mikal Bridges to play more physical on the defensive end, because in a league where they don't really call hand checks, Mikal kind of uses his body a lot. And look, they don't really call anything in this league, Mikal. So I want Mikal to be more physical on that end. But I think he can be. In the playoffs is going to be a different animal. We are tied for the hardest schedule in the league. Grill said that schedule weak. We better than all them teams. Why are you tweaking? Oh man. I'm not gonna call that weak. I'm not gonna call this schedule weak. Minnesota, Atlanta. Atlanta came into you're 0-2 versus Atlanta. They're 0-2 versus Atlanta this year. So in Minnesota, Randall and Dante are gonna want to have good games in MSG. Sacramento's been playing better, but it's a winnable game. Memphis, tough team in the West. Denver, Lakers, Houston. It's not a weak schedule. It's not a weak schedule. Compared to what we've had, this schedule coming up is going to really test us. And, don't go 0-2 in these next two games, right? You don't want that. So this Brooklyn game is on TNT, True TV, and Max. Did MSG and Optimum get the thing situated? Does anyone have Optimum? Can you guys get MSG Network still, or is that still up in the air? That sucks, man. That truly does suck. You can't even watch Knicks games on Optimum because MSG and them are going through a battle. But I'm not sure if they came to a conclusion on that, but yeah. The Brooklyn game is on TNT, Denver, ESPN, Lakers, ABC, Houston, NBA TV. So should be able to watch the Knicks games. Tony says we are about to lose a lot of the games. Hawks, Kings, Houston, and Lakers if we play like we did tonight. What you also hope is, Mitchell Robinson, you're hearing good things about him. I know it sounds like the timeline always gets pushed back, but hopefully he can come back for some of those games. And then that's a different stretch. Wild Boy Trey, I thought Precious played his ass off from Wild Boy Trey. Yes, he did. One of these games where you look at it and you're like, there they are. There's Deuce and Precious. Because, look, Precious has been inconsistent lately, right? And the OKC game, he got benched for Hook Porty, right? So the block he had tonight was amazing. Precious looked good. MSG and Optimum is always at odds with each other. They are, man. They are. This Rover. What's going on, this Rover? We gave up so many damn open threes, even against bums like the Sixers. Lately, we've been getting up a lot of threes to role players, right? A lot of open threes, a lot of threes that, back-breaking threes. But it's things to improve, guys. But it goes back to my point where if you go back to things to improve, right? I mean, we're not a perfect team. We're not a perfect team. We're not. But with 12 games over 500, still in a good spot in the Eastern Conference. And how many games are you ahead of Milwaukee? So you're 3.5 games ahead of Milwaukee in the third for the third seed, and you have the tiebreaker. So essentially, you're 4.5 games. So they've been in great in this third seed, right? And I'm not complaining about that at all. I'm not going to complain about that. If you can leapfrog Boston after the start that they've had, you sign me up for that. And obviously, that's going to be the test when we play them in a few weeks, but you sign me up for that. Is no one going to acknowledge JB's been playing a little more defensive lately? He's not great at it, but he's been making more of an effort. El Figgy, I put something on the Knicks Nation Twitter page at Knicks Nation. I put together, I want to say like 15 Jalen Brunson defensive clips. I put it on the Knicks Nation page. His sister actually reposted it and said this was funny. But JB's been good defense. Like, he's not great, but the effort's there, like you said. And I'm noticing that during the games, as long as he's giving you that effort. He had the funny meme today where he tried to dunk and he just couldn't convert. So, yes, noticing that too. The effort from JB is there. What did you guys think of Cat dressed up with his Philadelphia gear on the Knicks bench in Eagles jersey, in an Eagles shirt? What did you guys think of that? And then in the second half, he changed. He changed. I wonder if somebody got to him and was like, yo, man, you can't, not on the bench. You can walk into the games with your Eagles gear on, but don't sit on the Knicks bench with your Eagles stuff on, man. Come on. He changed. I thought that was funny. JB plays defense, question mark. The Milwaukee Bucks better. What's going on, Big Task? The Milwaukee Bucks better avoid the Knicks. Big Task, what's going on, man? Always you a day one, man. Big Task is a day one. I know my day ones. Big Task is a day one, man. Appreciate every single one of you in here. Knicks are 2-0 against the Bucks this year. Big Task. Cat is a Knicks, Yankees, Eagles fan. Yeah. Knicks, Yankees, Eagles. And Josh Hart is Knicks, Yankees, Commanders. Brunson is Knicks. I think he roots for the Yankees, Eagles. So, yeah, it's weird, but I thought it was funny that he changed. It was hilarious that he changed. But hopefully Cat can get out there, man. Hopefully Cat can get back out there and play. All right, let's end it with a couple of these comments. We got to trade one of the smaller guards off the bench. We need a 3 or 4 that can score and defend. I say trade Sims, Shamit, and Ryan and get somebody with size. Tony, trading deadline is coming up. Somebody that did the Charlotte Hornets and the Phoenix Suns, they made a trade for Nick Richards, right? I think that was a Knicks target that got traded to Phoenix. So he's off the board. So it's going to be interesting where the Knicks go or if they even do anything. It's a little blasphemous from Cat, but I forgive him. He's just a little confused. He's Dominican after all. That's hilarious. All right, guys, big Knicks win. Appreciate every single one of you joining me. Big Knicks win. We got another one against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm Anthony. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Have a great night. Let's go Knicks. I catch you guys next time. Peace.